Welcome to the bench session. I've tried a few times to film YouTube videos, largely unsuccessful, but I think this is going to be the one that makes it. My name is Benny. I'm a powerlifter, learning a lot about science-based lifting and trying to fuse the two worlds, make a little bit of headway, maybe fill a bit of a void in the powerlifting world with some more up-to-date information about hypertrophy and how you can apply it to maximizing your powerlifting. Anyway, I'm benching today. I have a single triple at 215. It may be 4 if I decide that I want to go for a 4th. It is that simple. I may elaborate further. I'm currently listening to Granite by Sleep Token. I may pop that on the screen. It may even be overlaid over the top if the video does not get demonetized. Very cool. Not bad. For those of you who don't know, I am recovering from a shoulder injury, and any day that I can bench without any pain is a good day. And today is a good day. That feels pretty good. That's the heaviest triple I have done since my shoulder injury. I'm now going to move on to my hypertrophy work. As a little explanation of why I'm only doing a single set, for the last few months, like 4 months or so, I have been doing 2 sets of bench a week, 1 set of squat, 1 set of deadlift, because I am in a bit of an off season and hypertrophy is my main goal. I don't have a lot of time, so a single set, more intense than I normally would program, is sufficient. 1 set has been proven, 1 set a week, has been proven to improve strength gains consistently over a reasonable period of time, especially when combined with extra hypertrophy work. You just need the 1 set to maintain a good amount of the coordination practice, which is the main reason that we do SBD work in any volume. I have decided, because I'm doing such a low volume in them, that I'm going to include them in my hypertrophy work, squat and bench at least, and I'm doing them at about 2 RIR or RPE 8, sometimes 1, depending on how hard I want to push it. But bench press, common to popular belief, is actually a good hypertrophy stimulus if performed correctly, i.e. with good control, good technique, and good intensity, as displayed there. I would say that is a pretty reasonable hypertrophy stimulus. Now, my chest is a lacking body part, so I'm going to go and immediately do some chest press machine, because that is probably a better stimulus, but this is still a good stimulus. I'm going to go and do some chest press now. Okay, we're on the chest press machine here. I have done 1 warm-up set. This will be my last warm-up set with the stack before I find a plate to gym pin this thing. This thing is a bit of a pain in the ass to gym pin, but it is workable. Also going to check to see that this exposure is comfortable and it's not too dark for you to see me. The cat may throw things off. We'll see. In some bad news, I have forgotten my jumping. I'm not at home. What a bad science-based lifter I am. Oh well, I'm gonna modify this and do it at a slightly, or do the incline, do a quad flip version, which will target a little more upper chest. Not a massive deal. It is a bit harder, which is why I'm doing it, because I really hate training above 10. Well, I don't hate it. I just don't like training above 10 reps. So, let's go. I'm gonna wait for the drop here of the music. But this is still sleep token. Essentialism. Yeah. Let's listen to that. Wait for this drop. And hit the set. Not bad. Given that was my PR on this a month ago, for my second set I'll take it. So whilst I take my rest here between sets, I'll just give you a little explanation as to how I program my accessories for powerlifting, for hypertrophy. I believe hypertrophy is, well, objectively, hypertrophy is the most guaranteed long-term way to get stronger. And so as a powerlifter, you would be foolish not to try and get as strong as you can on all of your hypertrophy work and give it the attention that I think it deserves. So this is my simple guide to programming hypertrophy work as a powerlifter. Basically, you're going to do your squat, bench, deadlift work, and then you're going to bodybuild afterwards. It's that simple. Pick 1 to maybe 3 effective movements that you like for each muscle that you want to grow. Train that muscle twice a week with high intensity, i.e. 0 to 2 RIR. Ideally, 2 sets per exercise, maybe 3. Try not to push it too much beyond that because powerlifting is a game of fatigue management, and additional sets have fewer gains for more fatigue. You're going to get most of the stimulus you're going to get out of any exercise in that first set. So ideally probably program 1 to 3 sets per exercise, depending on priority of that muscle and I guess enjoyment also. Like if you really like doing chest press, do an extra set in chest press, that's fine. Particularly if it's a muscle you need to bring up, that's great. For me, it is a muscle I need to bring up. And at the moment, because I'm doing the 1 hypertrophic set of bench press, I'm only going to do 2 here because I do have a short session that I would like to do. I would like this to be a short session. It probably isn't going to be because I'm making this a YouTube video, but what I want, then I'm not doing single arm tricep push down. I have recently invested in a pair of the Echovision TNF strap cuff situation. Highly recommend, very good. Having the strap to grip whilst you're doing the cuff variation is very nice. For those who don't know, there is evidence to suggest that holding something tight whilst doing a movement like this will improve overall multi-unit recruitment. Anyway, I'm actually going to take the I'm going to actually take the old pump cover off, I reckon. Another set here, and then we're going to move on to some lat pull down because flats are another big weak point of mine. Well, lovely. I'm not taking massively long rest times between my unilateral sets because my right arm is notably smaller and weaker than my left, and so I'm not overly fussed about maximum multi-unit recruitment in my left to try and give the right a chance to catch up. Anyway, let's hear this other set. Let's move on to lat pull down. Sorry, I really hope you can hear me here because the music is quite loud. I've got lat pull down. The cap has come off just for optimal bar path, of course. This is my last warm-up set. I am currently about 4 weeks into a cut, 4.5 weeks into a cut. 4 weeks? Yeah, 4 weeks into a cut. 2.5 of those have been at a very steep deficit. First 2 was just getting back to tracking, getting used to tracking again. But the last 2.5 weeks I have been quite a steep deficit, and I do feel it sometimes, but largely I am maintaining strength. I'm PRing some things like chest press for PR. Actually, yeah, the single arm tricep push down, also PR. I haven't been to this gym in like 2 weeks, and that was a PR, which is very nice. So hopefully we can PR this as well. That would be cool. I have done a lot of talking about not needing to be massively overweight to be strong as a powerlifter, and how some people use it as a crutch to eat a lot of food. Sidebar, if you want to eat a lot of food, more power to you. That's your prerogative. If you just want to eat food and train hard, that's great. But since I have done so much talking about being relatively lean as a powerlifter, I decided it was about time I walked the walk. I also am doing this as part of the Gymshark 66 challenge. It's going well. I'm down about 3.5, just over 3.5 kilos, like 3.4 of which is in the last 2.5 weeks, which is pretty good. I currently got Take Me Back to Eden on in the ears. Anyway, I'm going to hit this set. Not bad. Pushed it a little bit too far there. Yeah, failure is nothing to be afraid of, but if we can minimize it, that's great. Regarding the cut, I'm currently 87.45 kilos this morning. So my goal is 85, down from 91.1. Well, ideally around 15% body fat would be great. And then from there, we'll see. I'm trying to wear this Onyx as much as I can while you're running the cut, because I'm not going to be able to wear it after a while because I will be too small. This is a large, which is already a little loose in some places. Just a little too tight around like that armpits for my liking. I like to be unrestricted. I think that's why I got a bigger size. But I probably could do with a medium before too long. We'll see. Anyway, this is the piece of art that I'm listening to. Absolutely beautiful. Very cool version with what's his face? From Stranger Things, Vecna. Yeah, Vecna and Stranger Things did a cover. I'll remember his name in a minute. Let's set this out. The night belongs to you. This power's broken through. I must be someone new. 6th rep would have been failure, or too much, more than it was worth. What's his name? Stranger Things got a Vecna guy. It'll come to me, it'll come to me. I'm going to move over to lateral raise machine. The lateral raise machine is in use, so I'm just going to do shoulder press because I can't be asked to set anything else up when this is here. I really want to go home, I'm tired. And I've got 3 exercises left. Long day. I actually love doing this, by the way. I love being at the gym. But anyway, let's hit some shoulder press. Oh, I've got my last set now. Oh, sorry, my last warm-up set. I really hope you can hear me okay. That I'm right next to the speaker, and the music here is notoriously loud. Okay, we could be in for a PR. I'm just going to move the camera because it is very much in someone's way. I'm going to hit a working set here. Actually not too far off the set now, which is very nice. Looking at a PR. which if so, be very happy with that, particularly with a possibly injured shoulder still. I really hope it doesn't hurt. Not bad. For those of you wondering, yes, 5 and fewer reps it works. You will grow. I did used to be I remember the first time I started doing 5 reps or fewer on an upper body movement, I thought, wow, this is only like 3 reps, how is this possibly causing a growth stimulus? Which was just very silly thinking, I think, because 5 presented my body with something that it has to struggle to get through. If it's got the materials, why isn't it going to adapt? That's, yeah. And why does something different apply to lower body than upper body? Anyway, all is feeling quite good after talking about how much I love the higher rep, lower rep model. I've definitely just done a top set, so I'm gonna back down off of this one now. I'll probably do some slightly higher reps just from the injury prevention perspective. I don't think I could do another set of 4 with that weight. I'm gonna find another song. I might go for another Sleep Token album, you know. It's so good to listen to. And then I'll hit another set. Yeah, I've gone with this place will be your 2. The 2021 Sleep Token album. The current song is Atlantic, the first song on the album. Definitely made the right call dropping down. Shit, the camera's gonna die. On 17%. Hopefully we can make it through rows. And then I can move over to where there is a charging port next to the dumbbell rack for biceps. I have found a charging port next to the T-bar row, which is brilliant news because that's my next exercise. Oh bloody hell, one moment, let me not break this machine real quick. I do intend on changing the angle for my working sets. I just want to use the charging port while it's there. Fuck it, we may keep it over there, we'll see. See what this angle looks like. Anyway, I'm warming up at the minute. I don't need to film this set, I'll film the next one. Okay, this is the last warm-up set. This is what we're listening to. Can you see that? There we go. Not bad. Ah, good song. Should be 1 or 2 reps of this. No, just to see how we feel. Not bad. I might have 5 more kilos in me. Let's see if I can find a 5 kilo plate. We have now got, what's this, 65 kilos on the bar. 3 plates and a 5 kilo. Oh, it's not a bar. That's a T-bar, I guess. No, we'll stick with this same song. Mine. Alright, let's strap in and lock in. Stop pulling the weight around there. That was a bit much. But not bad, not bad. I'm considering maybe on my second day, when I put some calciums in here, I do want to practice my scapular traction a little bit. But I think, yeah, not bad. I'm moving some weight. Well, I'm moving some weight. I don't know. It's probably a little bit effective. I'm going to put the camera back on charge. I may take off the 5 for the second set. Not sure. There's some decent vascularity starting to come in. I'm currently estimated around 16.5% body fat. Not bad. Not bad. I'm definitely starting to notice that, so I carry fat on the outside of my arms here when I do get a bit higher in body fat, and it's nice to see that go down. Nice to see a little more definition on the lateral head of the tricep here. I'm gonna give it a couple minutes and then I'll log back. I decided to leave the 5 on. I don't care if I only get 3 reps. I think I've got 3, maybe 4. I quite like doing low reps on this exercise. I find it quite fun. Who cares if I get fewer than 5? Not too fussed. Not too fussed. Let's get this done so I can finish with my biceps. Whatever the fuck that means. I forgot to show you the song. It's the Love You one. Basically, I'm listening to this Sleep Token album. It'll be played through. Not bad. 4, actually, I said not bad. I'm happy. I'm very happy with 4. After that 5, that was a pretty hard 5. So 4 is very, very reasonable. Let's get this plug back in whilst I unload the bar so it doesn't die while I'm doing biceps. All the benches are taken, so I'm using this. I start with, well, I have been starting with a set of bicep and then doing a set of hammer, but I'm swapping it around because my forearms and brachioradials are a bit more of a priority. So we're going to do that first. Let's hit a set. It's definitely PR, although it's hard to tell because slightly different angle, I guess, maybe slightly different range of motion compared to doing it on a bench, but that's like 2 rep PR maybe. It's been a while since I was over here. I've been using the machine. I think I'm gonna come back to dumbbell for a while, and if I could work up to 20 kilo dumbbells for this, that would be very cool. That's a kind of side quest. Lovely. I'll give it a moment and I will do my biceps. Just watched a very strong man inclining the 50 kilo dumbbells. Maybe I'll go back to dumbbells at some point and see what we can work with. Just for shits and giggles. Anyway, hit a set. 3 reps. Boo-hoo. Only one off my PR, I think. I'll take it for a second set, and that was a absolutely shocking setup. Anyway, let's hit the left turn. I'm a big match reps guy over match weight. I would like a bit more symmetry. For most people, if you're a little bit asymmetrical, that's fine. It's not a massive deal. You're never going to achieve full symmetry. Humans just aren't built that way. But I'm pretty imbalanced. And so I would like to close that gap. Anyway, I'm just going to get my stuff ready and go home. I'll do a little outro on the way home probably. Thank you for watching along my first YouTube video. Hopefully it's all turned out alright and I haven't had to reshoot the whole thing. Hopefully you can hear me okay and such. If you are interested in more of my content, I do post more or less daily on Instagram and TikTok under the @cavemanlifts_, where I'm able to post more about powerlifting, hypertrophy, and some coaching tips. I am aiming to grow these socials as a vehicle for my coaching business in the future when I've qualified as a PT. I'm currently doing my level 3 PT course, so I may document some of that process as well. I am not entirely sure how often I will be posting on here. I'm gonna try and start posting if it starts to impede my ability to get my coursework done for my PT course. I will deprioritize this, because how can I possibly use this as a vehicle for a coaching course when I don't have a coaching qualification, when I am not a coach? But fingers crossed, maybe I'll post here once a week, maybe twice, maybe 3 times. Depends, I guess, how much time I have when I'm training, because that's probably when I'm going to be filming most. If I have the time, I will film each session, and then if I think of something to talk about during the session, then we'll have a video. If not, I've wasted an hour and a half of the time that I am training, which is normally about an hour 15, an hour 30 when I am not filming. But thank you again for following along, and hope to see you soon.